Hello and welcome to World News, World Talks with me, Anna Kalczyńska. 80 years after UNESCO was founded in the aftermath of the Second World War, its member states gather in Samarkand for a general conference marked by uncertainty and change. The meeting comes at a time when the organization faces renewed scrutiny over its leadership, its credibility in safeguarding world heritage, and growing pressures on cultural sites in conflict zones. Alicja Jagielska-Burduk, Secretary General of the Polish National Commission for UNESCO, joins me to discuss the key themes of this conference and Poland's role, including efforts to protect cultural heritage in Ukraine. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining our platform on TVP World.
Hi, hello, thank you.
So this general conference in Samarkand was unusually high stakes. So how do you assess it? What were the priorities for the Polish National Commission?
Well, the session, the general conference, normally takes place in Paris, and since long time there was no change. And this was the very first meeting outside of France, Samarkand, so it was a great technical and organizational issue for all delegations, all member states attending. It was also a very extremely important session because the elections of Director General were organized, and we have new Director General, Professor El Nani. He is the first Director General from Arab states and second from Africa. And we call it like a new chapter because he took his position only yesterday. So, and the elections were on the 6th of November. He has an extremely strong mandate as only 2 votes were abstained and 172 votes were for his candidature. So Samarkand was an extraordinary situation for all delegations, and we were debating on the budget of the organization, of its future, as well as on regular programs, culture, science, nature. And obviously, there was a great situation, something new with the elections, which takes place every 4 years. And 2 terms, there were consecutive 2 terms of Ms. Audrey Azoulay, originating from France. And this very session, General Conference, marks a new chapter, a new Director General, former director of very important Egyptian museums, as well as Minister of Tourism and Antiquities. So he has brought experience in academia, in governmental issues, non-governmental. So we will see, we have our fingers crossed. And you ask us about national commissions. So national commissions are just a part of the whole UNESCO ecosystem. We are established based on the UNESCO Charter. And our role is to merge and build bridges between governments, between NGOs, civic society. So for us, extremely important was the, for instance, resolution on the role of national commissions in implementation of the policy in terms of education, culture, science. It was a follow-up in terms of culture of the Mondia Cult 2025 meeting and its outcome document, where we also debated how, as national commissions, we can help to implement cultural policies at the global, national and regional levels.
Right. You say that Director General El Nani is enjoying a very strong backing and strong support from 172 delegates, but still his candidacy was surrounded by controversy. Allegedly, as an Egyptian Minister of Antiquities and Tourism, he was accused of neglect of cultural preservation for reason of necessary modernization and tourism. How do you assess those controversies, and what standards should UNESCO apply when evaluating the fitness of our Director General to lead the organization's heritage mandate?
Well, this is the member state decision. It's a result of a long-standing, ongoing process of campaign. There were several candidates, and this one received the highest, strongest mandate. So now we have just to wait what will be the first decisions regarding the cabinet, the assistant director generals, and on which programs we will focus. We are nowadays also facing a challenge regarding the budget. As we know, United States decided to withdraw and leave UNESCO, so it affects the budget. So here, the budget that was being debated during the general conference was also drafted with consideration of possibility of doing less, but with the priorities and the same activities. So here, I believe now there is a new shift that UNESCO will be focusing on voluntary contributions from states, but we were certain that the budget that we adopted will cover all the necessary activities in terms of culture, education, communication, information within all the mandate of UNESCO.
All right, let's talk about diplomacy, tourism, development and conservation, how to balance those three very important elements for UNESCO itself. So how is the operational guidelines and the 10 selection criteria for World Heritage being interpreted right now? And also, are there any proposals from this Samarkand conference to change those criteria, how they are being applied right now?
Well, you are speaking about the World Heritage Convention that merges nature and culture heritage protection. It is the very first convention that covers this issue, and obviously there are criteria that have to be met while enlisting site on the World Heritage UNESCO list, and there are certain challenges regarding climate, regarding nature, regarding human origin hazards, and definitely tourism is also one of them. So we should seek balance. And for instance, here, what is worth noting that the cooperation between UNESCO site managers is necessary. And just to mention, in Poland in 2017, a World Heritage Committee session was organized, and during this session, there was the first forum of World Heritage Sites managers. So here the debate, the discussion, but also very careful monitoring from World Heritage Committee, because World Heritage Committee, together with the World Heritage Center, are monitoring and implementing the convention. World Heritage Committee consists of 21 members from member states, and those states are responsible for monitoring, but also for the decisions on inscribing object onto the World Heritage list or on the list of UNESCO sites in danger.
Exactly. So tourism can be endangering all those cultural
Indeed,
sites, with tourism exploding nowadays. But on the other side, we have Ukraine.
Although, if I may, tourism is also kind of an important thing, because once you are being enlisted on the World Heritage list, it's kind of like a product. So with the tourism, you receive money for conservation, preservation, capacity building trainings. Just to note that tourism is not always the wrong thing in terms of World Heritage sites.
Fair point. So my thought went to Ukraine, as this cultural and World Heritage sites have been under direct threat since 2022. So what concrete measures is UNESCO proposing to strengthen protection and monitoring of sites in active or post-conflict zones?
Yes, indeed. Just after the Russian aggression on Ukraine, UNESCO gave certain statements, Director General, national commissions. We also participated in formulating such statements at our level. And for now, UNESCO is extremely involved in monitoring and conducting preliminary damages assessment. Just after the aggression, for instance, the emblem of Hague Convention were placed on monuments. There were some trainings organized. For instance, in 2023, there was a training how to fight with illicit traffic of objects originating from Ukraine. In cooperation with the UNESCO and Polish government. Only last year, we have celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Hague Convention. So the convention that deals with the protection of cultural property in armed conflicts. Together with other representatives from Polish National Commission, we participated and co-organized a conference in Lviv, in city center, together with the Ukrainian National Commission, German National Commission, and Austrian National Commission. We were discussing the emergencies, the threats, the intentional cultural heritage destruction, because this is not the matter of UNESCO. Emergency and technical financial assistance is also the matter of international law when it comes to intentional cultural heritage destruction and seeking the people responsible for such destruction.
Right. So in this respect, what role can and should Poland play in the protection of and the technical assistance, for instance, or emergency listing, monitoring and funding?
So I believe that this is the direct question to our ministries and National Institute of Cultural Heritage, because they were responsible and at once involved in cooperation with the Ukrainian partners. So our role is to monitor, to support, to give the expertise, as well as the necessary help. As we all know, the help is coming from different places, from different streams and partners. So the idea is to just coordinate it.
I see. So the nomination and evaluation processes for the new World Heritage inscriptions sometimes see tensions between the member states and advisory bodies, civil societies. So from Poland's perspective, how can UNESCO better integrate independent experts' assessment with local stakeholders, sometimes communities, into inscription and then monitoring decisions?
Yes, thank you. This is a very important question just after a long-lasting debate at the World Heritage Center, together with the member states that ratified the UNESCO 1972 Convention. Because the problem is how to balance the requirements from, for instance, IUCN, ICOMOS, and the needs requirements from the local communities, because sometimes there are vested interests. The local community can have a different approach to and a different strategy how to use the site than the international global community that is interested in preserving the object. So how to balance it? Obviously, the consultation process is necessary, but I believe that we should always rely on expertise, on experts, and try to implement as far as possible the recommendations coming from experts, because this is how it should work. Sometimes we have some nominations that can that are happening, and even that there is not a positive recommendation of the experts, but on the timeline after the inscription, then the site managers, the state party, is responsible for implementing all the recommendations.
Thank you so much, Madam Alicja Jagielska-Burduk, Secretary General of the Polish National Commission for UNESCO, has joined us. Thank you so much for your presence, Madam, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching World Talks. Please Stay tuned to TVP World for more interesting comments and obviously news coverage. See you soon.